Discovery and historical background. In 1874, British archaeologist George Smith uncovered a collection of clay tablets during excavations of the ruins of Nineveh, in modern-day Iraq, once the capital of the Assyrian Empire. These tablets were part of the library of Ashurbanipal, the last great king of Assyria, who ruled in the 7th century BCE. This ancient royal library, containing over 30,000 cuneiform tablets, was one of the most significant literary finds in history. Among these texts was the Epic of Gilgamesh, a Mesopotamian literary masterpiece written in Akkadian cuneiform, dating back as far as 2000 BCE, with standardized versions circulating around 1200 to 700 BCE. The flood narrative in the Epic of Gilgamesh, Tablet 11, the 11th tablet of the Epic of Gilgamesh, recounts the story of a worldwide flood, told by a man named Utnapishtim to the hero Gilgamesh, who seeks the secret of immortality. This flood story shares remarkable similarities with the biblical, Quranic story of Noah, and predates them by at least 1,000 years. Parallels with the Noah story. The similarities between the Epic of Gilgamesh and the new flood narrative in the Bible and Quran are profound and detailed. Both stories feature a righteous man who is singled out by the divine for salvation in the face of a coming apocalypse. In both accounts, the flood is divinely initiated as a punishment for humanity's failings, whether it be their sinfulness, as in the Abrahamic traditions, or their noise and disruption of divine peace, as in the Mesopotamian version. In both versions, the hero is instructed to build a massive boat, to take family members aboard, and to preserve animal life by bringing pairs of each species. The idea of sealing the boat with pitch appears in both narratives. Furthermore, both accounts describe the floodwaters rising to consume the earth, followed by the release of birds to test for dry land. The acts of disembarkation and sacrifice, followed by a divine promise or blessing, also mirror each other. These striking similarities, down to the order of bird release and the divine satisfaction at the post-flood sacrifice, indicate not mere coincidence but a shared cultural memory, reshaped over time by different civilizations and theological perspectives. Detailed comparison: Gilgamesh flood versus New flood. In both the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Noah flood story from the Abrahamic religions, we find a righteous man singled out by divine powers to survive a catastrophic flood intended to wipe out humanity. In the Mesopotamian version, Utnapishtim is chosen by the god Ea, while in the biblical and Quranic accounts, Noah is chosen by God, Yahweh, Allah. Both are warned in advance about the impending destruction and are instructed to construct a large vessel. Utnapishtim builds a massive, cube-like ship, while Noah's Ark is built according to precise measurements described in the Torah and Bible, with pitch used to seal both vessels. In each narrative, the central figure is told to preserve life by bringing aboard their family and pairs of animals, ensuring the survival of species after the flood. The cause of the flood also shares thematic parallels. In Gilgamesh, the gods are disturbed by human noise and excess, while in the Abrahamic texts, God is angered by human sinfulness, violence, and moral decay. The duration of the flood differs slightly. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the storm lasts 6 or 7 days, while in the Bible, the rain falls for 40 days and nights, with the waters prevailing for 150 days. The Quran doesn't specify the exact length, focusing more on the spiritual lesson and the disbeliever's fate. After the waters begin to recede, both Utnapishtim and Noah engage in a similar ritual involving birds. Utnapishtim releases a dove, a swallow, and a raven, while Noah releases a raven, followed by a dove multiple times to determine if dry land has appeared. In both cases, the final bird's failure to return signals that the earth is habitable again. Following the flood, both Utnapishtim and Noah offer sacrifices. Utnapishtim's offering is said to be so fragrant that the gods gather around it and express remorse for their actions. Similarly, Noah's burnt offering is pleasing to God, who then promises never again to destroy all life with a flood. This divine response results in a covenant, in the Bible, symbolized by a rainbow, while in Gilgamesh, the gods simply pledge not to repeat such destruction. Finally, each flood survivor is rewarded. Utnapishtim is granted immortality and eternal rest in a distant land, while Noah is blessed, his lineage is honored, and he is entrusted with repopulating the earth. The Qur'an emphasizes Noah's elevated status among the prophets and his endurance against rejection and hardship, portraying him as a model of patience and submission to God's will. In sum, the similarities are extensive, from divine warning and vessel construction to the flood's purpose, survival method, bird release ritual, post-flood sacrifice, and final divine response, pointing to a shared mythological origin that predates and likely influenced the later religious versions. Here is a summary of the similarities between the flood story in the Ashurbanipal tablets, Epic of Gilgamesh, and the new, Noah, flood story in item-by-item format. Checkmark 1. Chosen hero. Gilgamesh epic. Utnapishtim is chosen by the god Ea. Religious texts. Noah, is chosen by God, Allah, Yahweh. Checkmark 2. Divine warning. Gilgamesh epic. Ea secretly warns Utnapishtim about the coming flood. Religious texts. God directly tells Noah of the impending disaster. Checkmark 3. Cause of the flood. Gilgamesh epic. The gods are disturbed by human noise and overpopulation. Religious texts. Humanity is sinful and corrupt. God decides to cleanse the earth. Checkmark 4. Boat construction command. Gilgamesh epic. Utnapishtim is instructed to build a massive, sealed boat with exact dimensions. Religious texts. Noah is commanded to build an ark with detailed measurements and seal it with pitch. Checkmark 5. Preservation of life. Gilgamesh epic. Utnapishtim brings family, craftsmen, and pairs of animals onto the boat. Religious texts. Noah brings his family and pairs of all animal species. Checkmark 6. Flood duration. Gilgamesh epic. The flood lasts 6 or 7 days. Religious texts. The flood lasts 40 days and nights, Bible, not specified in the Quran. Checkmark 7. Global destruction. Both, the flood destroys nearly all life on Earth, sparing only those on the boat. Checkmark 8. Release of birds. Gilgamesh epic. Utnapishtim releases a dove, a swallow, and a raven. Religious texts. Noah sends out a raven and a dove. Checkmark 9. Return of bird signals land. Gilgamesh epic. The raven does not return, indicating dry land. Religious texts. The dove returns with an olive leaf, and then does not return, signaling the same. Checkmark 10. Post-flood sacrifice. Gilgamesh epic. Utnapishtim offers a sacrifice to the gods. Religious texts. Noah offers a burnt offering to God. Checkmark 11. Divine reaction to sacrifice. Gilgamesh epic. The gods smell the sweet aroma and feel remorse. Religious texts. God accepts the offering and makes a covenant never to destroy the earth again. Checkmark 12. Reward to the flood survivor. Gilgamesh epic. Utnapishtim is granted immortality. Religious texts. Noah is blessed and given the task of repopulating the earth. The Ashurbanipal tablets and the power of ancient memory. The Ashurbanipal tablets, especially Tablet XI of the Epic of Gilgamesh, are more than just ancient clay artifacts. They are living records of how humanity has struggled to understand its origins, morality, and relationship with the divine. The flood story, present in both ancient Mesopotamian literature and the Abrahamic scriptures, shows how deeply shared and recycled our spiritual stories really are. These texts do not disprove religion per se, but they disprove the notion that religious stories are always historically unique or divinely unprecedented. Instead, they reveal that even the most sacred texts often have roots in older, mythological frameworks. Understanding this does not have to destroy faith. Rather, it can deepen it by showing that our spiritual ancestors were part of a long human journey of seeking meaning in a chaotic and mysterious world. Detailed comparison between the flood narrative in the Ashurbanipal tablets, Epic of Gilgamesh, and the version in the three major Samavi, Abrahamic, religious books, Torah, Judaism, Bible, Christianity, and Qur'an, Islam, presented item by item. Check mark 1. Chosen person. Epic of Gilgamesh. Utnapishtim is chosen by the god Ea for being wise and obedient. Torah, Bible, Qur'an. Noah, Nu is chosen by God, Allah for being righteous and faithful among a corrupt people. Check mark 2. Divine warning. Epic of Gilgamesh. Ea secretly reveals the flood plan to Utnapishtim in a dream or whisper. Torah, Bible. God speaks directly to Noah and gives him instructions. Qur'an. Allah commands Nu to warn his people and then build the ark when they reject his message. Check mark 3. Cause of the flood. Epic of Gilgamesh. Humans are too noisy and chaotic. The gods can't rest, so they decide to wipe them out. Torah, Bible. Humanity has become violent, sinful, and wicked. God regrets creating them. Qur'an. People reject the message of God, mock Nu, and persist in idolatry and wrongdoing. Check mark 4. Boat building instructions. Epic of Gilgamesh. Utnapishtim is told to build a massive cube-shaped boat with multiple decks, sealed with pitch. Torah, Bible. Noah is given precise measurements for an ark, length, width, height, also sealed with pitch. Qur'an. Nu builds the ark under Allah's guidance and protection. Specific dimensions are not mentioned. Check mark 5. Who is saved? Epic of Gilgamesh. Utnapishtim, his family, a few craftsmen, and animals. Torah, Bible. Noah, his wife, sons, sons' wives, and pairs of all animals. Qur'an. Nu, the believers, and animals are saved. His son and wife, who disbelieve, are not saved. Check mark 6. Duration of the flood. Epic of Gilgamesh. The flood lasts 6 or 7 days. Torah, Bible. Rain falls for 40 days and 40 nights. Water covers the earth for 150 days. Qur'an. Duration not specified. Emphasis is on divine judgment and survival of the faithful. Check mark 7. Bird test for dry land. Epic of Gilgamesh. Utnapishtim releases a dove, a swallow, and a raven. Torah, Bible. Noah sends out a raven, then a dove twice. Qur'an. This detail is not mentioned in the Quranic narrative. Check mark 8. Post-flood sacrifice. Epic of Gilgamesh. Utnapishtim offers a sacrifice. Gods smell the sweet odor and gather around. Torah, Bible. Noah offers a burnt offering. God is pleased and vows never to curse the earth again. Qur'an. No sacrifice is mentioned. Focus is on the outcome for the disbelievers and the salvation of the believers. Check mark 9. Divine response after the flood. Epic of Gilgamesh. Gods regret their harsh action and promise not to do it again. Torah, Bible. God sets a rainbow as a sign of the covenant to never flood the earth again. Qur'an. Emphasis is on the destruction of the unjust and Allah's mercy on Nu and the believers. No rainbow or regret mentioned. Check mark 10. Reward for the survivor. Epic of Gilgamesh. Utnapishtim and his wife are granted immortality and placed in a distant paradise. Torah, Bible. Noah is blessed, commanded to multiply and fill the earth, and his lineage becomes central to later generations. Qur'an. Nu is honored as a prophet and a model of patience. His story is repeated in many surahs as a warning and lesson. Magnifying glass critical observation. The Epic of Gilgamesh predates all Abrahamic religious texts by at least 1,000 years. The extreme similarity in key narrative elements, especially divine warning, boat building, preservation of animals, bird tests, and post-flood sacrifice, suggests that the Noah flood story is a theological adaptation of this much older myth. The Epic of Gilgamesh and the tale of Utnapishtim serve as a mirror to the Noah story, revealing both its ancient heritage and its moral reinvention. The Ashurbanipal tablets stand as silent yet powerful reminders that history, myth, and religion are forever intertwined, and that understanding one enriches the others. The flood narrative preserved in the Epic of Gilgamesh challenges the idea of the Noah story as a wholly original divine revelation. Instead, it reveals a deeper truth, that ancient civilizations borrowed, transformed, and retold stories to suit new spiritual and moral frameworks. The similarities, from the divine warning, to the boat, the animals, the storm, the birds, and the sacrifice, point to a shared cultural source that predates monotheistic religion. This does not invalidate faith but enriches our understanding of how human beings across ages have wrestled with the same cosmic questions: justice, destruction, salvation, and divine favor. The Ashurbanipal tablets are not just historical artifacts, they are keys to decoding how myth becomes scripture, and how memory becomes belief.